At my nephew's graduation, they sat me in the parking lot, while my cheating ex-wife got front row seats. She's more family than you'll ever be, my brother sneered. I smiled, left my $5,000 gift on his car, then stopped the college fund I'd been secretly funding for 4 years. Hey, Reddit, this happened last month and I'm still processing it. My family chose my cheating ex-wife over me at my nephew's graduation, so I pulled the plug on 4 years of secret financial support. What followed was a complete meltdown. Here's how it went down. I'm 42 male, and I need to start with some background because this mess goes back years. My younger brother Sebastian, 38 male, and I used to be tight. We grew up in a working-class family where dad drove trucks and mom cleaned houses. Neither of us went to college, but we both hustled our way into decent lives through different paths. I went into HVAC repair, started my own business, and built it into something solid over 15 years. Not flashy, but profitable. I've got 12 employees now, and we handle commercial contracts across 3 counties. Started with a beat-up van and a toolbox, now I've got a fleet of trucks and a 15,000 square foot warehouse. It's honest work that pays well when you know what you're doing and treat customers right. My success didn't happen overnight. First 5 years were brutal, working 18-hour days, living on ramen and coffee, sleeping in the van between service calls sometimes. But I learned every aspect of commercial HVAC systems, earned every certification available, and built a reputation for showing up on time and fixing problems the first time. By year 10, I was pulling down mid-six figures annually. By year 15, I owned my building outright and had more work than I could handle. Sebastian took a different route. He's a shift supervisor at the Ford plant, solid union job with good benefits. Married his high school girlfriend Amy when they were 22, and they had my nephew Tyler when Sebastian was 23. Tyler's 18 now, just graduated, and until last month I thought we had a great relationship. Kid's always been sharp. Honor roll student, played varsity baseball, never got in trouble. I was genuinely proud to be his uncle. Then there's Jessica, my ex-wife of 8 years, mother of exactly 0 children, destroyer of trust and apparently the new family favorite. Jessica and I met when I was 31. She was working at a dental office, seemed sweet and normal. Blonde, petite, the kind of woman who looked like she belonged in a toothpaste commercial. We got married after 2 years of dating that felt natural and easy. For the first 5 years, things were good. She quit the dental office, helped with my business admin work, and we talked about starting a family. She had this way of making everything feel organized and calm, which was perfect for balancing my chaotic work schedule. She was good with Tyler too when he was younger. Would help him with homework when Sebastian and Amy needed a babysitter, taught him to make cookies, bought him thoughtful birthday gifts. I actually appreciated having someone in my life who was naturally good with kids, since I'd never had any of my own. That's when I found out she'd been screwing Dr. Peterson, her former boss at the dental office. Not just a one-time thing either. They'd been having an affair for 3 years. 3 goddamn years while she was sleeping next to me every night and talking about our future kids. The discovery was brutal. I'd gone to surprise her at lunch and saw them in his car behind the office building. The image of Jessica straddling him in the front seat of his BMW is burned into my brain forever. She was wearing the same red dress I'd complimented her on that morning before leaving for work. What made it worse was realizing how calculated it had been. She'd never actually quit the dental office. She'd been going back there twice a week for lunch dates with Peterson. The business admin work she was supposedly doing for me was actually her giving him inside information about my company's insurance claims and service contracts. He'd been using that information to poach my commercial clients through his connections in the medical district. The divorce was ugly. She wanted half my business, claiming she'd contributed to its growth. Yeah, she'd contributed by filing papers and answering phones while banging her boss and feeding him confidential business information. My lawyer was good, though. A bulldog named Patricia, who'd seen every kind of cheating spouse story. We proved Jessica had been planning the affair exit strategy for months and got it down to a reasonable settlement that didn't include any piece of my company. But here's what really twisted the knife. Throughout the divorce proceedings, my family supported her. Not me, her. Mom kept inviting Jessica to family dinners. Sebastian would text her directly about holiday plans. Dad actually asked me if I was sure about the divorce, like maybe I'd imagined finding my wife screwing another man in broad daylight. Their justification? She's been part of the family for 8 years. Divorce doesn't change that. Apparently, blood relations do change that, though, because my comfort level sure as hell didn't matter. When I pointed out how fucked up it was to choose my cheating ex-wife over their son and brother, Mom hit me with, "Michael, we're not choosing sides. We're just maintaining relationships that matter to us. Maintaining relationships that matter to them, while telling me my feelings didn't matter enough to warrant basic consideration. The worst part was watching Jessica play the victim perfectly. She'd show up to family gatherings with just the right amount of sadness, talking about how difficult the divorce was and how she hoped we could all still be family. She'd bring homemade desserts, ask about everyone's lives, remember birthdays and anniversaries. Meanwhile, I'm the bad guy for being uncomfortable around the woman who destroyed my marriage and tried to steal my business. She was particularly good at bonding with Tyler during this period. Kid was 14 when the divorce happened, right at that age where adult relationships are confusing, and he's trying to figure out loyalty versus fairness. Jessica would take him shopping, help with school projects, even attended his baseball games when Sebastian and Amy couldn't make it. She positioned herself as the cool aunt figure, while I looked like the bitter ex-husband who couldn't move on. Tyler had always looked up to me as the cool uncle with the successful business who could fix anything. I made sure the divorce drama didn't affect our relationship on my end. Still took him fishing every other weekend, still helped with school projects, still showed up for basketball games and academic award ceremonies, but I could see him getting confused about why everyone else seemed fine with Jessica being around, while I obviously wasn't. The kid asked me directly one time, "Uncle Mike, why don't you like Jessica anymore? She's always been nice to our family." How do you explain to a 14-year-old that the woman who helped him with algebra homework was also systematically betraying his uncle? That her niceness to the family was part of a strategy to maintain social support during her affair? I just told him that sometimes adult relationships get complicated and it wasn't his fault or responsibility to fix. But here's what nobody knew. I'd been secretly funding Tyler's college savings since he was 14. Not just birthday money here and there. I'm talking about a serious, consistent contribution of $800 monthly for 4 years. That's $38,400 plus interest, sitting in an account Sebastian knew nothing about. Why the secrecy? Because I knew if Sebastian found out, he'd either refuse the money out of pride or find a way to mess it up. Sebastian has always been terrible with money. Good intentions, but zero financial discipline. He'd probably have spent it on home renovations or a new truck, figuring he could pay it back later. The plan was to surprise Tyler at graduation, with a college fund that would cover his entire 4-year degree at state school. My financial advisor, Karen, helped set up the account. Everything legal and proper, with Tyler as the beneficiary and me as the contributor. We structured it as an education savings account with tax advantages. Conservative investment mix designed to preserve capital while generating modest growth. I figured it would be my graduation gift. Surprise the kid with financial freedom to pursue any degree he wanted without crushing student loans. I'd been planning this reveal for months, had the paperwork ready, account statements printed, and even researched Tyler's preferred schools to show him exactly what the money could do. This was going to be my moment to prove that blood family means something, that I'd been investing in his future even when nobody asked me to. That plan got nuked at graduation. The ceremony was held at the high school football stadium on a perfect May afternoon. Simple setup. Graduates in the middle, families in the bleachers. I arrived early, wearing my best navy suit, carrying a card with the account information and a smaller gift, a $5,000 check for immediate expenses like textbooks and dorm setup. I was genuinely excited. Tyler had worked his ass off through high school, maintained a 3.7 GPA while playing varsity baseball and working part-time at a local restaurant. Kid deserved recognition and support. I was proud to be the uncle who could provide it. That's when I saw the seating arrangement. The front row was reserved for immediate family. Made sense. But guess who was sitting front and center next to Sebastian and Amy? Jessica. My ex-wife was in the family section while I was directed to general seating 3 rows back. She was wearing a light blue dress that I remembered buying her for our anniversary 3 years ago. Had her hair done, looked like she was attending her own son's graduation instead of inserting herself into my nephew's milestone moment. When she saw me approaching, she gave me this little wave like we were casual acquaintances who happened to bump into each other. I walked up to Sebastian before the ceremony started. "Hey, there's probably been a mistake with the seating. I'm Tyler's uncle." Sebastian looked uncomfortable, but didn't budge. Amy was fussing with a bouquet of flowers, pretending not to hear the conversation. "The front row is for immediate family only." "I am immediate family. You're my brother." "Look, Amy planned the seating. Jessica's been part of Tyler's life longer than anyone except us. She deserves to be there for his big day." I stared at him. "She's been part of Tyler's life longer than me? I'm his uncle. I've been his uncle since he was born." You know what I mean?" I actually didn't know what he meant, but I could see this wasn't going anywhere productive. "Fine. Where am I supposed to sit?" Sebastian pointed toward the back. There are good seats in the general section. The general section, at my nephew's graduation, while my cheating ex-wife got front row treatment like she was his actual parent. I found a spot in the fourth row, directly behind a family I didn't recognize. Couple in their 50s, probably grandparents, talking excitedly about their grandson's plans for engineering school. Normal family dynamics where blood relatives got priority seating and everyone understood basic respect protocols. I tried to focus on Tyler. Kid looked sharp in his cap and gown, clearly excited about the ceremony. I was proud of him regardless of the seating drama. This was his day, and I wasn't going to let family politics ruin it. But every time I looked toward the front row, I saw Jessica chatting with Amy like they were sisters, taking selfies, acting like she belonged there. The principal started the ceremony with the usual speech about achievement and bright futures. Tyler's class was small, only about 150 kids, so individual recognition took a while. When they got to academic awards, Tyler's name got called for both excellence in mathematics and outstanding community service. Kid had been volunteering at a local food bank throughout senior year. As he walked across the stage, I started clapping loudly, really going for it because the kid deserved recognition for his hard work. I was genuinely proud. This was the nephew I'd been secretly supporting, and he was proving himself worthy of that investment. Sebastian turned around and actually shushed me. Can you keep it down? You're being disruptive. Disruptive. For cheering too loudly for my nephew's academic achievement. That's when Jessica turned around too. She had this smug smile like she was enjoying watching Sebastian put me in my place. She mouthed thank you to Sebastian for shutting me up, then gave me this condescending little shake of her head like I was a child misbehaving during church. The audacity was staggering. This woman who'd cheated on me with her boss was now policing my behavior at my nephew's graduation while sitting in the front row seat that should have been mine. I spent the rest of the ceremony in silence, watching Tyler receive his diploma and honors recognition, while Jessica acted like a proud family member. When the graduates threw their caps in the air, she was taking pictures like she'd been there for his entire educational journey instead of just the parts that didn't conflict with her affair schedule. After the ceremony, everyone gathered in the parking lot for pictures and congratulations. I approached Tyler to give him his card and check, genuinely happy to see him despite the seating disaster. "Uncle Mike!" Tyler hugged me, real excitement in his voice. "I'm so glad you came. Did you see me get the Academic Achievement Award?" "I did, buddy. I'm really proud of you. You've worked hard for this." I handed him the card with the $5,000 check. "This is for you. College expenses, whatever you need." Tyler's eyes went wide when he opened it. "Uncle Mike, this is too much. I can't accept this." "Yes, you can. You've earned it." That's when Sebastian walked over with Jessica and Amy. "What's going on?" Tyler showed them the check, excited. "Look what Uncle Mike gave me. $5,000. Instead of being grateful or impressed, Sebastian looked annoyed. "Mike, we talked about this. You don't need to throw money around to prove a point." "I'm not throwing money around. I'm giving my nephew a graduation gift." "It's excessive. Makes the rest of us look bad." Jessica chimed in with her sweet fake voice. "It's very generous, but maybe something more modest would be appropriate for the circumstances." The circumstances. She was referring to my divorce settlement like it was relevant to my nephew's graduation gift, like my financial decisions needed to be filtered through her comfort level. "What circumstances?" I asked. "Well, you know, after everything that happened with the divorce and the financial arrangements, people might think you're trying to compensate for something." I looked at this woman who tried to steal half my business after cheating on me for 3 years, and she was suggesting that my generosity toward my nephew was somehow inappropriate compensation for my personal failures. That's when I lost it. Not screaming or causing a scene, but something inside me snapped. "Sebastian, can I talk to you privately for a minute?" We walked a few feet away from the group. I could see Jessica watching us intently, probably hoping I'd say something she could use against me later. "What the hell is wrong with you?" I asked quietly. "What do you mean?" "You sat me in the back while my ex-wife got front row seats. You shushed me for cheering for Tyler. Now you're criticizing my graduation gift. What exactly is my role in this family?" Sebastian looked defensive. "Jessica's been in Tyler's life for 8 years. She helped him with homework, came to his games, supported him through high school. She's earned her place here. And what have I done? Chopped liver? You're his uncle. That's different." "Different how?" Sebastian hesitated, then said the words that changed everything. "She's more family than you'll ever be." I just stared at him. My own brother. Blood relation since birth. And he was telling me that my cheating ex-wife was more family than I was. "Okay," I said calmly. "Good to know where I stand." I walked back to the group. Tyler was still holding the check, looking between the adults like he sensed tension, but didn't understand it. Amy was checking her phone, pretending the conversation wasn't happening. Jessica was watching with barely concealed satisfaction. Tyler, I need to talk to you about something else. There's been a college fund that I've been contributing to for the past 4 years. It's got enough money to cover your entire degree. Tyler's jaw dropped. What? Really? Really? I was going to surprise you with it today, but plans change. I pulled out my phone and called my financial advisor. Karen, it's Mike. I need to make some changes to the Tyler Morrison education account. Yes, right now. I want to transfer the entire balance to a different account. My personal savings? Yes, I understand the tax implications. No, effective immediately. Sebastian realized what was happening. Mike, what are you doing? I'm making a withdrawal. It's my money. It's my... You can't just take Tyler's college fund. It was never Tyler's college fund. It was my money that I was planning to give Tyler. Big difference. Tyler looked confused and hurt. Uncle Mike, I don't understand. I looked at this kid I'd been secretly supporting for 4 years. Kid who had no idea about my investment in his future. Kid whose father had just told me I was less family than his mother's cheating ex-sister-in-law. Tyler, I love you. You're a good kid, and I'm proud of what you've accomplished. But your dad just made it very clear that I'm not really family here, so I'm adjusting my financial commitments accordingly. Amy spoke up for the first time. Mike, you're being petty. Am I? Let me ask you something, Amy. If Jessica cheated on Sebastian for 3 years, would you still invite her to family dinners? Amy looked uncomfortable, but didn't answer. Right. But because she cheated on me, that's different. Because I'm apparently not real family. Karen called me back to confirm the transfer. $42,180 moved to my personal account. 4 years of college funding gone in 5 minutes. Done, I said, hanging up. Sebastian was starting to panic. Mike, be reasonable. Tyler doesn't deserve to be punished for our family issues. You're absolutely right. Tyler doesn't deserve to be punished. But Tyler also doesn't deserve to have his college funded by someone who's not real family. That would be weird, right? I turned to Tyler one more time. Kid, you're smart and you work hard. You'll figure out college financing. Lots of students do it without family help. Jessica had the nerve to speak up. This is really vindictive, Mike. I looked at her directly for the first time since the divorce. Jessica, you spent 3 years screwing your boss while married to me. You don't get to lecture anyone about vindictive behavior. Then I looked at Sebastian. When you said she's more family than I'll ever be, did you mean that? I was upset. I didn't mean it literally. Yeah, you did, and that's fine. But now you get to live with the consequences of that statement. I reached into my suit pocket and pulled out the $5,000 check from Tyler, walked over to Sebastian's car, and left it on the windshield under the wiper blade. This should help with first semester expenses, I said loudly enough for everyone to hear. Since Jessica's more family than me, maybe she can cover the rest. Tyler called after me as I walked away. Uncle Mike, wait! Please. I stopped and turned back. Kid looked genuinely distressed, and I felt like shit for putting him in this position. But I also couldn't keep pretending that family respect was optional. Tyler, this isn't about you personally. This is about being treated with basic respect by people who are supposed to love me. When your dad figures out whether I'm family or not, we can talk. I drove home in complete silence. No music, no phone calls, just the sound of my own breathing, while I processed what had just happened. 4 years of planning, 4 years of secret contributions, 4 years of imagining Tyler's face when I surprised him with a college fund. All gone, because my brother chose my cheating ex-wife over his own blood. When I got home, I poured myself 3 fingers of bourbon and sat on my back porch. My phone started buzzing almost immediately. First text was from Sebastian. You can't be serious about this. I replied, dead serious. Enjoy figuring out college financing. Amy texted, Tyler is crying. You've ruined his graduation day. I replied, I didn't ruin anything. I just stopped pretending to be family when I'm clearly not. Tyler texted, Uncle Mike, please. I don't understand what happened. Can we talk? That one hurt. I texted back, Tyler, this isn't about you. This is about your dad choosing Jessica over family. I love you, but I can't keep investing in people who don't consider me family. Then came the phone calls. Sebastian called 6 times in an hour. I didn't answer. Amy called twice. Didn't answer. Even Jessica called once, which was wild considering we hadn't spoken directly since the divorce. My mom called around 8 p.m. Michael, what is this I'm hearing about Tyler's college fund? What did Sebastian tell you? He said you withdrew Tyler's education money because of some argument at graduation. It wasn't Tyler's education money, Mom. It was my money that I was planning to give Tyler. Big difference. You're punishing a child over adult problems. I'm not punishing anyone. I'm just not funding college for people who don't consider me family. Sebastian didn't mean what he said. Yes, he did. And you know what? I'm tired of being the family member who's expected to show up, contribute, and shut up while everyone else decides my place in the hierarchy. Mom tried the guilt approach. Tyler's worked so hard, he deserves a chance at college. Tyler can get student loans like millions of other kids. His parents can take out a second mortgage. Jessica can contribute since she's apparently more family than me. You're being cruel. No, Mom. Cruel is seating me behind my ex-wife at my nephew's graduation. Cruel is shushing me for cheering too loudly. Cruel is telling me my ex-wife is more family than I am. I'm just responding to cruelty appropriately. The next few days were a shitstorm of family drama. Sebastian left increasingly desperate voicemails about the college fund. He'd miscalculated the timing. Tyler had already accepted admission to State University based on the assumption that college was financially covered. Now they were looking at $15,000 per year in expenses with no savings, and Tyler's graduation party already planned for the following weekend. Amy called crying about how they couldn't afford Tyler's first semester without major financial restructuring. She'd already told extended family about Tyler's college plans, had ordered graduation announcements with State University bound printed on them, and now they looked like failures who couldn't support their son's education. The beautiful irony was that Sebastian had always been the responsible one with money compared to some of our relatives. Steady job, good benefits, nice house in a decent neighborhood, but they'd been living exactly at their means, assuming Tyler's college was handled by scholarships or financial aid they'd never actually researched. Now they were scrambling to figure out financing for something they thought was free. Tyler called Wednesday night, completely confused and hurt. Uncle Mike, Dad won't explain what happened at graduation. He just keeps saying you're upset about seating arrangements. Is that really why you took away my college money? This was the conversation I'd been dreading. How do you explain to an 18-year-old that his father chose your ex-wife over you without sounding petty? Tyler, it's not about seating arrangements. It's about respect and family priorities. I don't understand. Your dad told me that Jessica is more family than I'll ever be. After 8 years of Jessica being part of family events while I'm treated like an outsider, I decided he might be right. But Jessica's not even family anymore. She's your ex-wife. According to your dad, she's more family than I am. So I figured she should handle family financial responsibilities too. Tyler was quiet for a long moment. Uncle Mike, I never asked you to pay for my college. I didn't even know you were doing it. I know, buddy. This isn't about you. But I'm the one getting hurt by it. That hit me hard. Tyler was right. He was collateral damage in a family war he hadn't started. But I also couldn't keep funding people who'd made it clear I wasn't really family. Tyler, here's the truth. I love you and I'm proud of you. But your dad has to choose whether I'm family or not. If I'm family, then I get treated with basic respect. If I'm not family, then I don't have family financial obligations. What if Dad apologizes? Then we'll see. But it needs to be a real apology, not just panic about money. Friday brought the most pathetic phone call I'd ever received. Sebastian, clearly desperate, tried every manipulation tactic in the book. First, he claimed the comment about Jessica was taken out of context. He was just acknowledging her role in Tyler's life, not diminishing mine. Complete bullshit, but at least he was trying. Then he offered compromises. Maybe Jessica wouldn't come to future family events. Maybe they could establish better boundaries. Maybe we could all sit down and work things out like adults. When none of that worked, he tried guilt about Tyler's future. Did I really want to derail my nephew's education over a misunderstanding? Was proving a point worth more than Tyler's opportunities? Finally, he broke down completely. Mike, I screwed up. I said something stupid because I was stressed about the ceremony going smoothly. Amy had planned everything, and I just went along with the seating. But you're my brother. You're Tyler's uncle. Of course you're family. Am I more family than Jessica? Long pause. What? Simple question, Sebastian. Am I more family than Jessica? You're different kinds of family. That's not what you said at graduation. You said she's more family than I'll ever be. Do you still believe that? Another pause. No. Then prove it. How? Cut contact with Jessica completely. No more family events, no more holiday invitations, no more treating her like family while I get treated like a distant relative. Sebastian couldn't commit to that. It's complicated, Mike. She's been part of Tyler's life for years. And I've been part of Tyler's life since birth. But somehow my relationship with him matters less than hers. That's when I realized nothing had really changed. Sebastian was panicking about money, not genuinely understanding that he'd chosen my ex-wife over his brother. He wanted the college fund back, but he also wanted to maintain the status quo where Jessica remained family while I got marginalized. So I made the decision permanent. Monday morning, I called Karen and transferred the $42,180 into a new investment account. Not for Tyler, not for family obligations, just for my own future. If I wasn't real family, then I didn't have real family financial responsibilities. I also called my estate attorney and had my will updated. Previously, Tyler was set to inherit my business and assets since I don't have kids. Now everything goes to charity, specifically to a scholarship fund for students whose families can't afford college. Let Sebastian explain to Tyler why his uncle left everything to strangers instead of family. The family civil war escalated from there. Mom started calling daily, trying to broker peace. Dad finally weighed in, telling me I was being stubborn and prideful. Extended family members who barely knew the situation offered opinions about family loyalty and forgiveness. Everyone wanted me to be the bigger person, to restore the college fund, to let bygones be bygones. Nobody was asking Sebastian to choose between his brother and his brother's ex-wife. Nobody was telling Jessica to stop insinuating herself into family events. The pressure was entirely on me to accept disrespect in the name of family harmony. The breaking point came 2 weeks after graduation when Amy called me directly. Mike, Tyler's been accepted to community college for the fall. He's going to live at home and work part-time to help pay for it. Okay. He had to turn down State University, his dream school, because of money. That's unfortunate. You could fix this. You could give him back his college fund. It was never his college fund, Amy. It was my money that I was planning to give him. You're destroying his future over pride. No, I'm protecting my self-respect. There's a difference. Jessica feels terrible about how things went at graduation. That stopped me cold. Jessica feels terrible. She never meant to cause problems between you and Sebastian. Amy, Jessica caused problems between me and Sebastian when she spent 3 years screwing her boss while married to me. The graduation thing was just the latest example of everyone choosing her comfort over mine. She wants to apologize. I don't want her apology. I want her gone from family events. That's not fair to Tyler. She's been part of his life, and I've been part of his life longer. Why does her relationship with Tyler matter more than mine? Amy couldn't answer that question. Nobody could, because the truth was obvious. They'd chosen my ex-wife over me for convenience, not principle. 3 weeks after graduation, Tyler showed up at my shop unannounced. I was working on a commercial HVAC unit when he walked into the warehouse. Uncle Mike, can we talk? I shut down the equipment and walked over. Tyler looked older somehow, like the past month had aged him. What's up, kiddo? I want to understand what happened at graduation. Really understand. Not the family-friendly version everyone keeps giving me. So I told him everything. The divorce, the affair, the years of being marginalized, while Jessica got treated like family, the secret college fund, the graduation seating, Sebastian's comment about her being more family than me. Tyler listened without interrupting. When I finished, he was quiet for a long time. Uncle Mike, I never knew about most of this. Nobody told me about Jessica's affair, or how badly the divorce went. It wasn't your business to know, but it explains a lot. Like why you and Dad seemed tense sometimes when Jessica was around. Your dad made his choice, Tyler. He chose Jessica's comfort over mine repeatedly. The graduation thing was just the final straw. Tyler looked uncomfortable. Can I ask you something? Sure. Would you consider giving me the college money if Dad uninvited Jessica from family stuff? I studied my nephew, smart kid, trying to find a solution that worked for everyone. Tyler, the money isn't about Jessica anymore. It's about respect. Your dad doesn't respect me as family, so I'm not going to act like family. What if he apologized? Really apologized? Has he? He's been trying to figure out how to approach you. He knows he screwed up. Tyler, I love you, but I'm not going to keep being the family member who's expected to absorb disrespect and pay for the privilege. Your dad needs to decide if I'm his brother or not. You'll always be my uncle. I know, but being your uncle doesn't mean funding your college when your dad treats me like crap. Tyler left looking defeated. I felt terrible for him, but I also knew I couldn't back down. If I restored the college fund now, I'd be teaching everyone that they could treat me however they wanted, as long as they eventually needed money. That weekend, Sebastian finally showed up at my house. Saturday evening, sitting on my front porch when I got home from a service call. We need to talk, he said. About what? About fixing this mess. We sat on my porch steps like we used to as kids. For a minute, it felt like old times. I fucked up, Sebastian said. The thing about Jessica being more family than you, that was stupid and hurtful and wrong. Yes, it was. I was stressed about the ceremony going perfectly. Amy had planned all the seating, and I just went along with it instead of thinking about how it would make you feel. Sebastian, the seating wasn't the problem. The problem is that you've been choosing Jessica over me for 4 years. The graduation thing was just when you said it out loud. I never chose her over you. Every family dinner where she was invited, and I felt uncomfortable. Every holiday where her feelings mattered more than mine. Every time someone told me to be the bigger person, instead of asking her to stop inserting herself into my family. Sebastian was quiet. You want to fix this? I continued. Then fix it completely. No more Jessica at family events. No more treating her like family while treating me like an outsider. Choose your brother, or choose your brother's ex-wife. It's not that simple, Mike. Tyler cares about her. Tyler's 18. He's about to go to college and start his own life. He doesn't need Jessica to be happy. Amy thinks it would be wrong to cut Jessica out completely. Amy gets to think whatever she wants, but you get to choose whether your wife's opinion matters more than your brother's respect. Sebastian looked defeated. What if we compromised? Jessica only comes to major events. Sits with general family instead of immediate family. No compromises. All or nothing. That seems extreme. Extreme is telling your brother that his ex-wife is more family than he is. I'm just responding to extremism with clarity. Sebastian sat there for 10 minutes, wrestling with a decision that should have been obvious. Finally, he spoke. Okay, no more Jessica at family events. You sure about that? Because once you make this choice, I don't want to hear about it being difficult or complicated. I'm sure. And Tyler's college fund? What about it? It's gone. That money is now my retirement fund. Tyler can get student loans like everyone else. Sebastian's face fell. Mike, come on. You made your point. No, I established my boundaries. The college fund was contingent on being treated like family. Since that didn't happen, neither does the funding. But if I'm fixing the Jessica situation, you're fixing it because I forced you to choose, not because you wanted to respect me. That's different. Sebastian sat there processing the reality that his choices had permanent consequences. How do I explain this to Tyler? Tell him the truth. That you prioritized his uncle's ex-wife over his uncle, and actions have consequences. That makes me look terrible. That's because what you did was terrible. Sebastian left without saying goodbye. I haven't heard from him since. 2 months later, I heard through Mom that Jessica wasn't at Tyler's graduation party. Apparently, Sebastian had called her and explained that she wouldn't be included in family events anymore. She was reportedly devastated and hurt by the decision. Tyler started community college in the fall. He's working weekends at a grocery store to help pay for it. I sent him a $500 gift card for textbooks. Not family obligation money, just uncle money. He texted me a thank you and said he understood why I'd made the choices I did. Sebastian and I still don't talk. Mom keeps pushing for reconciliation, but I'm not interested. He showed me exactly where I ranked in his priorities, and now he gets to live with the consequences of that ranking. The $42,180 is earning 8% annual returns in my investment account. By the time I retire, it'll be worth considerably more than Tyler's college tuition would have cost. Sometimes doing the right thing for yourself ends up being profitable too. Do I feel bad about Tyler losing his college fund? Absolutely. But I feel worse about spending 4 years secretly funding someone whose father considered me less family than his uncle's cheating ex-wife. Some boundaries are worth the cost of maintaining them. Last week, I changed my will again. Everything now goes to Tyler, not because of family obligation, but because he's grown into a young man who understands that respect isn't optional in family relationships. Maybe by the time I die, he'll have learned something about standing up for yourself that his father never figured out. Family isn't just about blood. It's about choice, respect, and mutual consideration. When people show you that you're not really family to them, believe them, and act accordingly. YouTube just dropped this new hype feature. If you're hooked on this story, smash that hype button. It tells YouTube this video deserves to blow up, and it keeps even crazier stories coming your way.